help you.
So Nigerian lecturers just left the group chat, I suppose.
And honestly, in that aspect, I don't know how to
Nigerian
put it,
lecturers
but
left the group chat.
I'm being honest with you.
Beautiful souls, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here and you have not subscribed, please subscribe and turn on the notification bell so that whenever new videos are posted you get to see them immediately. I am Chamaka, your favorite Nigerian girl living here in Malta, and in today's video I have something very special lined up for you. You all have just been disturbing, you want to know about schooling in Malta, there's just been lots and lots of questions, and for me to have all your questions answered, I have a special person with me today. Yes, I have a very special person with me here today, and why I brought her here is because so I did not move to Malta through the school route, so I might not be able to answer all the questions that you have for me, so I brought her here. So meet my wonderful guest today, Oritoke. Nice to have you here. Thank you for obliging. Thank you. So how long have you been in Malta now?
I've been in Malta for 5 months.
5 months, okay.
Yeah, 5 months.
So, but why Malta first of all? And I think that's the question a lot of persons have been asking. So why Malta?
Okay, the thing is, when I was looking for schools, I picked Malta because the schools are affordable, and of all the European countries that I checked out, I noticed that unlike the UK, just like the UK rather, Malta too, they speak English, communication and everything. Those were the things that I looked at because, and then the cost of living, I won't say it's cheap, but relatively it's affordable.
Yes.
So
she has gone on to mention 3 reasons that motivated her to move to Malta.
Yeah,
One was that Malta is relatively affordable.
Yes.
So speaking communication was very simple. You don't have to start learning other languages, so it makes it really, really easy for you to adjust and adapt.
And education is even cheaper.
Education is it's cheaper actually, as well as myself compared to other countries. So that was the 3 motivations that 3 things that motivated you to choose Malta. Okay, so how was the process entirely for you? How did you eventually, because a lot of persons have asked, how did you come up with the school choice? Which school do you go to? It's okay for me.
It's fine. It's fine. Right. Normally I won't want to limit people to just my school. I would always say you can Google is your friend, you can check online and just check Google. But my school is Global College Malta in Smart City Calcara, and I picked the school because it is relatively cheaper compared to the other schools.
So there are lots of schools here in Malta. It's just based on what you tend to study, one, and also your pocket. So how has the experience been so far with Global College?
So far, my experience in the school has been wonderful. The lecturers are really supportive. You can approach anyone if you need help, and trust me, the lectures go smoothly. Although I would say maybe a bit of issues with the accent and all, but trust me, it's really small.
So you are saying that the lecturers are helpful? The lecturers just left the group chat.
They want to see you. Maltese lecturers, they want to see you grow. They want to ask you if you understand, and I'm not shading. Trust me, I am not shading Nigerian lecturers. I'm not shading. Nigeria is home for me, but I'm telling you that if I was asked rather to pick a school between Nigeria and here in Europe, I will pick my school all over again.
But do you think it has anything to do with the number of students in the school? Because I just thought about it. In my class, we were about 250 in my class.
You mean in Nigeria?
In Nigeria, yes, in my class. So I feel like it was also going to be like a factor. Do you think the number of students in a class kind of matters?
For me, I don't really think it matters because, like I said, in Global College in my school, we have people who are running the master's program, and when I tell you that there are a lot of people in the master's program, and people don't have so much negative things
feedback
to say. So I think it really boils down to, you know, maybe the students, the seriousness they put into it, and then the lecturers are really down to it.
That's nice to hear. So, but of course, before you got to the school, after you made your choice, that this was the school that you were going to go to, how did you go about processing, you know, from, oh, I finally decided this is the school, Google, compared, you know, made your comparisons and all of that. So how did you now start the whole application process, down to even your visa and all of that? Just walk us through the process,
okay,
so that any other person who is interested, you know, I've got a lot of questions, so that other people can just watch this video and it will serve as a guide to them.
Okay, so it's really simple, and when I tell you this, I'm sure it will begin to sound like, are you really serious? It sounds, you know, it doesn't sound possible, but it was really smooth. The visa process was smooth.
Note that.
Firstly,
smooth.
Yeah, it's smooth. If you go through the, you know, the normal route, the right way, actually, because a lot of people start the process and, you know, they don't have enough information. I would ask you to, like, I would tell you rather to have enough information. You need to know what you're doing. Know enough information about the school you're going to, you know, the amount you're paying, your proof of funds, everything needs to be in check. So the visa process is really simple. Once you picked your school, you need to communicate, because I always tell people you need to communicate with your school. They will help you. And for me, I applied for my visa through school and everything went smoothly.
So more like the schools kind of assist with
exactly. They will help you with, if you it's simple. You can just ask questions, communicate with the school via the website. You know, you can check online. Google is your friend. And once you pick the school, it's easy. They will help you with the process, the questions that you'll be asked during the visa process. So trust me, once you get that, it shouldn't be a problem. And you, at some point, you have to send your passport abroad. You know, from Nigeria or wherever you're coming from. You have to send your passport to Malta, and in a few weeks you should get it back.
Okay, so you all have heard it so far, that you can do this on your own. It's very simple. But if at any point you decide to use an agent, there are a couple of trusted agents that you could use, so that you don't just get into trouble. People that will assist you, you know, be sincere, tell you as it is at every point in time. Now it just comes back to one other question that I had on the channel. Of course, most schools, most countries ask for Nigerians to provide IELTS. Did you at any point provide any of that IELTS stuff? So what did you do to?
I mean, it's just like I said, when you meet with your school and, you know, when you start the process, you pay your school fees, even if you don't pay in full. Some schools allow payment in installments. So you know, you'll be given all the documents, all the things that you need to submit, things that I don't think it's
so because I know that some persons reached out to me,
whether BSc, master's degree, although it depends on the school.
Depends on the school.
But for my school, but I can't limit people to global knowledge,
of course.
You have to.
So for your school did not request for IELTS
at all, and
they didn't even ask you for maybe Duolingo or even what's the school thing?
Even the masters,
this proof of what's it called?
Proof of funds?
No, proof of English language as medium of instruction from your university. They didn't ask you. No. Oh wow, that seems stress-free. That seems stress-free. But guys, I am not, like she said, she's also not limiting you guys to global college. You can check, there are lots of schools in Malta. Okay, so so far you now got into Malta, and so how has settling in been? Because I think some other people end up asking questions about accommodation, jobs as well, you know. Everybody keeps asking, are there jobs, are there student jobs, you know, and I cannot really say, because my reality is a little bit different.
It's not the same for you.
It's very different, you know. So I want to hear from the students. Have you been able to get a job, you know? Others around you, do you know people, what kind of jobs are available for students
in Malta?
In Malta.
Actually, when I came into Malta, I wasn't working.
Okay.
understand up until recently. So for me, I would advise whoever is coming as a student to prepare. Plan well, because when you're coming into
that word is prepare. Not that line. Prepare.
Don't let anyone sugarcoat it for you. Anywhere around the world, anywhere you meet yourself, when you get there, at least for the first few months, especially in Malta, your permit, you have to do your permit first before you start working anywhere. If you go anywhere and say you want to start working, that's the first thing they will ask you. And this thing, there's process. You understand? You have to go through the process, and it may take you 2 to 3, 4 months to actually get your permit.
Okay.
So you have to plan.
So that means
you may not be working.
You may not be able to work. So that means if you're coming to school in Malta, you have to prepare
for your upkeep.
For your upkeep, your accommodation, because rent is paid monthly in Malta.
And then rent, yes. Monthly.
Rent is paid monthly in Malta.
About the rent. If you be coming through school, like I said, I'm a student, so if you be coming through school, you have to talk to your school to help you with accommodation. That's like the easiest way. But if you're someone that doesn't like to share with people and all of that, because that's actually cheaper. If you want to you can just go through, the bookings.com. Most people I used bookings.com when I was coming, and that was what I submitted during the visa process. Trust me, if you do that, it will go smoothly. And when you now get here, you can now begin to say, okay, you need an agent to get a place for yourself. But please prepare your mind, you may be sharing an apartment with somebody.
See, honestly,
it's a normal thing.
I feel like there's nothing wrong with it.
It's a normal thing.
Because honestly, if we try to compare here and back home, right?
Okay.
What you pay for rent here monthly is what you tend to pay like an entire year if you try to convert. So if you try to use the exchanges. So like it is more financially smart that you get to share an apartment. But when you talk about sharing this apartment, how much do you think what's the least you think you can get the shared apartment for?
Okay. Like I said, it has ranges rather. So if you come through school, you may not pay maybe more than maybe 350, 400 euros, for maybe your bills and the rent. But obviously you'll be sharing apartments with your fellow students and all. But if you'll be moving out with the rate at which prices of things are going high in Malta right now, each apartment goes for maybe service apartments or all those things from like 600, 700 euros, and it's
for a student and you've not started working yet. Except you're coming with that is money,
Exactly.
But if you're coming with that is money,
you
should be able to you want to save money, So so far I have been enjoying my conversation with you. It's also been very insightful for myself because I'll be able to give more informed decision rather informed information. Not decision. Informed information to people who ask me those questions.
Yes.
And I was also going to ask, I have like my questions all down here, and do you of course, you've mentioned there were no language barriers, which is part of the reason why
Maltese speak their languages, but you can easily speak
English. Okay. So I would ask again, what support systems or resources were available to you and other international students like you?
Resources?
Support systems for you to settle into the country. Do you have anything like that, or to adjust and sanitize?
For me, I really don't think there are so much, except for the fees and all. I mean, school is almost free here, so for the EU but non-EUs, one thing I actually like is the transportation. I would always say it's free because you just pay little amount, the card and everything. It's free.
How much is the card? Because for me, I had to pay. I paid about 80 euros, right?
18. I think mine was like 12 or 14. 12 euros or so, but it's a small
as a student, once you say you're a student, you get
you just register and you get the card within a week. Within a week actually, so that you can move easily. Really?
2 weeks, 3 weeks thereabouts.
I think say almost 2 weeks and that was it.
Yeah, but say that, I mean, like I've been here for almost 1 year, so things are also changing and getting better.
About working, as a student.
Yes.
You are limited to the number of hours you have to work. You are not expected to work.
You have to go to school
to focus exactly.
Yes, and that
it's really flexible.
And that takes me back to one of the questions that I asked you earlier, right? Okay. What kind of jobs are available for students?
I mean, there are, depending on what you're looking at, there are jobs, menial jobs that you can do. Maybe, I've seen people who do, waitress jobs,
okay.
waiters,
okay.
waiters, people who hostess and all that. I'm talking from a lady's perspective. Guys do dispatch riders and all that. There are lots of menial jobs that you can do. Working in maybe a store.
Okay.
Those are the jobs that I see
often. Okay.
But there are jobs, menial jobs.
Okay. So and those jobs, you think they provide you get paid enough to support living here, and if possible, of course, save something as well out of it?
Like I said, it actually depends on your what you're looking at. Because if you're someone who does menial jobs, I will advise you to go and rent a whole place, a whole apartment all by yourself. Whether in school or outside the school hostel, it has to be sharing with someone so that you can take care of yourself. So for me, if you're doing menial jobs just to manage and not gather money, you see jobs of 700 to 800 euros monthly to 1,000
to 1,000 euros.
And I feel like if you're earning that, maybe for example 800 1,000 euros, and you're paying for your apartment 400 to 600 euros for your upkeep, and you should be able to save something. I'm talking about people who are just starting. Obviously, you can't do that forever. When you finish school and you're done with school and you want to further your education, or maybe look for jobs, or start up a business. It's actually, for me, if you plan yourself well, you shouldn't have so much problem.
So the word still comes back to planning. You have to just plan these trips. Whatever it is you intend to do in life, whatever it is, he who does not plan has planned to fail.
Exactly.
Right? If you don't plan, your plan
exactly.
to fail. Okay, so what do you miss about Nigeria?
A lot. My God. A lot. I miss the food. I miss the fact, I always say it, I always tell people, I miss the fact that I can leave my house and just all other food that I'm not ready to make. And it's Nigerian food. Yeah, Nigerian food's available here, but it's not like you understand. I miss the food. I miss the holidays. All the holidays.
Holidays almost every month. It's only July that doesn't have a public holiday. Yeah. But yes, every other month has a public.
Trust me, there are times that in Nigeria they're celebrating maybe a particular day, and here we are working and people are going to school, people are going to school.
So I just think the thing there that maybe you're still working with Nigerian clocks sort of.
Trust me, I miss Nigeria when it comes to things like that. But I like Malta also, of course.
Okay, so do you have any tips or advice, any other things that for other students considering studying in Malta?
For me, if I would advise anyone who is coming to study, like I said before, do your research. Don't pick a school that you just feel this one is good, I'll just go with it. Pick a school that, okay, this is what you're coming to study, you know the modules and everything related to the course, know what you want for yourself, because you need to also search based on, if you're planning to stay in Malta for a long time, what jobs are available there. I always tell people that look for jobs in that aspect, I always tell them, please look for jobs on LinkedIn according to the availability of jobs in Malta. So I'm not saying let jobs determine the course you come and study, but then you have to be smart about it.
Of course.
If you're someone who is looking to study for a long time
or live in Malta for a long time.
And actually one more thing, I like Malta because you can easily travel around. Exactly. You can travel around, especially countries in Europe,
Yes,
you know, under the Schengen region. So for me, if you're a student,
for very little money,
if you're a student, you enjoy it. Trust me.
See, I think one of these
it's an advantage.
I think one of these days I will make a video on how to get cheap deals traveling for cheap for very.
But then when you're going back to Nigeria, you'll be seeing thousands of euros.
Jesus.
The thing is, let's not start that discussion today.
That's going to be for another day. But so far, it has been an amazing conversation, an eye-opening conversation. Thank you very much, for sharing your time, you know, your experiences with us. And I hope to have you around soon again. And to you, my wonderful subscribers, viewers, and wherever it is you're watching from, thank you for sticking with us up to this point. And if you have not subscribed to this channel, please, what are you waiting for? Subscribe. Yes, and turn on the notification bell so that whenever I post new videos, you get to see it. And yes. So until I see, of course, if you have other questions, right, always just put it down in the comments and I'll try as much as possible to respond. And if I cannot respond, just continue to call my attention to it. I'll also maybe get to make a video about it someday, sometime. And until I see you again in my next video, ciao ciao. Bye. Bye.